ready for a deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty big, humanity's relationship with Earth.
But not the usual save the planet talk, right?
Right. We're going deeper. We're going to explore philosopher Michel Serres' idea of a natural contract.
Serres. His work, it really makes you think differently about our place in the world,
Totally. So we're diving into his book, The Natural Contract, to unpack this whole thing. I mean, we all see the news, right? Things are, a bit strained between us and nature.
To say the least.
But what does it even mean to have a contract with the planet? It's such a strange thought.
It is, and Serres argues it's a fundamental shift in how we have to see ourselves. For centuries, we've acted like we're dominating Earth, in control. But it's more complicated than that, way more.
Okay, so how do we even start to wrap our heads around that?
Well, he uses this image, right, from a Goya painting. So these two guys locked in a duel. Sounds dramatic, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, dueling. Go on.
But here's the thing. They're knee-deep in quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
So focused on fighting, they don't even notice they're both sinking.
Oh, wow. I see. They're so caught up in the battle.
Exactly. Serres says we do that all the time, with everything. Our own little conflicts blind us to the big picture, the quicksand we're all standing in.
Whoa. That hits close to home. How often do we miss the quicksand in our own lives, right? Too busy arguing over this or that to see the bigger issues.
In Serres, he takes this war idea beyond actual battlefields, this short-sighted, destructive thinking. It's in economics, environmental damage, even how we chase knowledge sometimes.
It's like that line of his, it stuck with me. The pursuit of military operations by other means, exploitation, commodities, money, or information. So we might not be on a battlefield, but that competitive drive, it can be its own kind of war with huge consequences.
Absolutely. And it matters even more now because of the scale of humanity's impact. Serres says we've gone from this negligible force on the planet to a stockpile, like a geological force. We can actually reshape Earth's systems now.
Okay, that's kind of terrifying. It's like we've become superheroes with zero training. We don't just live on the planet anymore. We are a force of nature, and not always in a good way.
Kind of makes you rethink things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like what our responsibility really is. And that's where this natural contract idea, it gets really important.
Okay, so how does this whole natural contract thing even work? Do we, sign a treaty with Mother Nature or something?
That's a great question. Serres uses this analogy, right? Imagine humanity living on a ship. Everything we do, every action, even the small stuff, it all affects the whole ship, everyone on board.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this.
So on a ship, resources are limited, yeah?
Yeah.
You can't just pollute the ocean, can't just drill for more fuel. Everyone's survival, it depends on keeping that ship running, using resources responsibly. Serres says, Earth, it's like our ship. And we've been acting like we get endless lifeboats.
Whoa. It's like we've been sailing along, assuming there's always another island to land on, stock up. But the ship, the island, we got to figure out how to live here sustainably, or else.
Exactly. And see, our old ways of doing things, our social contracts, essential, for how we deal with each other. But they're about people and people. They don't really address us and the planet, the whole ship,
So our legal systems, it's like they're stuck in port, but we're already out at sea. Sailing into a hurricane, probably.
That's a good way to put it. And it leads to a pretty uncomfortable realization. We've left nature out of the equation. In the law's eyes, nature's just there, passive, no rights of its own. And we see that everywhere, right?
Yeah.
How we've used up resources, trashed ecosystems, like the planet's something separate from us, something we can just take from.
Yeah, a limitless resource instead of, the thing keeping us alive.
Right. And Serres argues this outdated view of nature, it's at the root of all these environmental crises we're facing.
So if our systems are failing, how do we even begin to fix this? How do we establish this new kind of relationship, this natural contract thing?
Well, he suggests looking at history, specifically how science and power, they've always kind of bumped heads. He tells this story, right, about Zeno of Elea, the philosopher.
Zeno. Okay, now I got to hear this. What did he do? Zeno. Okay, now I got to hear this. What did he do?
So Zeno, right, he's known for, his sharp mind, logic. But he gets accused of plotting against this tyrant, hauled into court, stands for the ruler, looks like he's going to give up the whole thing.
Ooh, I bet it was intense. Everyone holding their breath, right?
Exactly. But instead of, naming names, Zeno does something totally unexpected. He bites off his own tongue.
Whoa, no way. Seriously.
Yeah, this act of, ultimate defiance, choosing silence over betraying the truth. That's what Serres is getting at, you see.
Wow. Okay, I get the drama of it, but how does this tie back to the natural contract thing?
It's about the struggle, right? Challenging the way things are. Throughout history, People who've spoken truth to power, challenged the accepted story. They always face pushback. And science, with this whole truth-seeking thing, it's on the front lines of that battle. Like, think Galileo, right? Fighting the church over what he saw in the sky.
It's like that saying, the truth will set you free, but first, it'll make you uncomfortable. So, if we're going to speak up for the planet, for a new way of thinking, and it's going to ruffle some feathers, how do we do it effectively? What's Sarah's solution?
That's where this instructed third idea comes in. And it's not just environmentalism, yeah? It's a whole new kind of justice. See how everything's connected.
Okay, so bigger than just recycling and stuff.
Way bigger. Sarah's isn't saying we ditch technology, go live in the woods. He wants a balance. Ethics. We got to acknowledge we depend on this planet and act accordingly. We got to become the instructed third.
Instructed third. Sounds kind of mysterious. Who are these people?
Think of it less like specific people, more like the best version of all of us. The instructed third, they're both ancient and futuristic. Scientific, but also deeply human.
So like 21st century Renaissance folks. They can code an app, A-N-D, quote, Thoreau.
Exactly. Bridging that gap between knowledge and wisdom. Short-term gain versus long-term consequences. Imagine leaders, artists, parents, everyone thinking this way, making decisions based on both, facts and the compassion.
Wow. That's a powerful image. And it makes me think we can all be part of that. Recognizing our impact, choosing to learn and grow, and then acting responsibly. To each other and to the planet.
Exactly. That's what makes Sarah so relevant, He's not just theorizing. He's saying, hey, we got to do something. We all have to help write this new contract with Earth.
So we're all on this ship, right? Sailing into, well, who knows what. But we're not just passengers. We can learn the ropes, navigate right, maybe even chart a new course. What does your natural contract look like? What kind of ancestor do you want to be? That's something to think about, isn't it?